So this week's podcast was a good flow, good energy. I'm actually in a new recording studio as well, so hopefully the audio quality is a little bit better too. Always trying to up my game here at the Soft Tissue Revolution. Really dove into the idea of pricing and the idea of are you trying to be affordable or cheaper? And the idea when you do lower your prices, what it really is a deeper reflection on the idea that you're scared of something. And you're scared because maybe you're not as good as you think you are. Maybe you don't think you're providing enough value, or maybe you're just having a problem with your overall mindset around money. So I kind of broke this podcast into two segments. First was just trying to get your mind wrapped around the idea of like your relationship with money and what money really is, and the idea of like value and what you provide. And then in the other part of the podcast, I really broke down like some steps and some actionable methods you can take to get your money mindset right, to start charging accordingly and get yourself in a good position, and a few more tactics and tools to help you really be taken seriously as that healthcare provider and become that solutions provider so you can make the money that you deserve and you can help more people. So I hope you guys enjoy the show. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Revolution podcast. Dr. Matt Maggio here. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the podcast. On the last episode of the podcast, I was a little rough, but a little honest. Got some really good feedback, from people saying, hey, thanks for telling how it is, and talking about ego and how people are out there just pretending that there's something that they're not. And the podcast before that, I really dove into why I'm so passionate about what I do. But just wanted to take a moment here before I get into the show and just thank all of you. I've been doing this podcast now for well over 2 years. And I keep getting more and more downloads and people reaching out saying how much it helped, specifically massage therapists. I'm trying to help you. So, really selfishly, so you can help me. Because as I said before, I'm on a mission to make chronic injuries obsolete and getting people access to hands-on quality care. And that's what soft tissue is. And massage therapists are the best in the world at that. So even if you don't believe in yourself fully yet, I believe in you, because I believe that hands-on soft tissue treatment should be the go-to treatment for any musculoskeletal injury, and it is better than anything else out there. So just appreciate you guys, giving me your time and your energy every week. It takes a lot behind the scenes to put this podcast together. I'm very busy. I run multiple clinics. I do coaching. I do all that. I always say I'm in the shit, out in the middle of it. I'm not one of these gurus who sits there and doesn't really treat or do anything anymore. I'm always testing out ideas and doing that, and I love sharing them with you on this podcast. So I got a great message from someone on LinkedIn the other day about how much they enjoyed the podcast and how much it helped. So I like those messages. They keep me motivated and keep me on the grind to where I want to go. So enough about me. Let's get right into it. Pricing. As the title said, a lower price or affordable prices just means that you're scared. That might hit you in a different way. Money's it's just an emotional thing for people. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be. So let's just start first. I took some notes on this, so I'll dive into them, but because I tend to get a little bit ranty when it comes to money and issues surrounding money. So let's just start with getting our minds right on pricing and charging accordingly. Number one, this is probably one of the most important things that I've learned for myself over the years. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. So we get this a lot with clients, and they call in and they say, hey, how much is it going to cost for treatment? I've talked about this. I have a whole podcast you can go back and listen to about why you should not put your prices on your website. So my rule is I will go over price with a potential client once they know what type of value I bring. Because if you just give them a price and they don't know, they're just going to compare you to other people and you're going to be stuck in that commodity. But the true value is what you get for what you pay. And if you're doing something right, the price that someone pays should actually be 10 times more valuable, and they should never give you shit about the price. Number two, you can't compete on price. It's just, you can't. Like, you're not going to be able to be the lowest person. You're not one of these factories and these mills like Hand and Stone and Massage Envy where they're just cranking people out. You're never going to be able to compete on price. So either you're the lowest price, but there's no prize for being the second lowest price, and you're not going to be able to compete on price, but you sure as hell, once again, you sure as hell can compete on how you deliver your product, which is on a whole different level. You're not going to be able to compete on price, and you don't want to compete on price because people that are looking straightly for price, you don't want them. They're going to be a pain in the ass. Number 3, and this might be hard for people, and it might be hard to kind of see what's going on in the real world too today, as well as you see people out there, I'm not trying to get ranty or political here, but this idea that businesses' jobs are to support other people and give people a living. At the end of the day, the real job of your business is to make as much money as possible. And that's not greedy. You're actually greedy if you don't want to do that and you're selfish, because honestly, the more you can make and the better you're like taken care of in your own stuff. I talk about this idea of like lions eat first. You got to take care of yourself. And if like you're working multiple jobs just trying to get by and paying your bills, you can't show up and be there for those people. You have a duty to make as much money as possible so that you're comfortable. You're not having to worry about your bills. You're not having to do anything, and you can be there and help more people. Because if you're not fully there and you're not fully present because you're worried about money, there you go. I see so many times, on LinkedIn, I see all these massage therapists where I connect where they got like 5 or 6 different jobs. Like, no, if you charge accordingly and you do the right thing, this can be your career. And this is a career that can make you money. You can make 6 figures across the board, but it takes time. Number 4, just a reminder, and you probably do it too. People spend a lot of money on dumb shit. Once again, people spend a lot of money on dumb shit. So spending good money and quality money on something that's actually going to fix their problem, keep them from pain pills, injections, and surgeries, and get their life back is a fucking bargain. There you go. I got to hit explicit, but that's okay. It is a fucking bargain on so many levels because people spend stupid amounts of money on shit that they don't need. But when it comes to their health and wellness, they want to play let's make a deal. And the problem with a cheap solution is the solution in itself. It's never going to be able to solve the problem. And lastly, just money. Money is a transfer of energy. That's all it is. We tend to attach emotion to it, but there's no emotion there. It's just a transfer of energy. Like you're transferring me energy to do something for you, to provide value, to fix a problem. And that should be received back. And if you can wrap your money or your money mindset around that, it's going to kind of change your whole perspective. Because at the end of the day, if you have a poor money mindset, you have a lack of abundance, you just have a poor relationship with money, it's going to mess you up. So just recap: price is what you pay, value is what you get. 2, can't compete on price, but you sure as hell can with product delivery. Number 3, the real job of a business is to make as much money as possible so that you can take care of your needs so you can help other people. Number 4, people do spend money on stupid shit. And lastly, money is just a transfer of energy. Now, let's dive in a little bit deeper. So hopefully we changed your mindset a little bit on money. If I didn't yet, there's some more deep work that you need to do. And this next part probably won't resonate with you, but when you think about it, like I said, with those money things, it can put it in a good perspective. So now what you need to do is do an honest evaluation of yourself and the value that you bring. Because the most important tenet of this whole podcast, like I said, is price is what you pay, value is what you get. So number 1, I broke these into 5. Number 1, are you the absolute best at what you do? Like really look at that question objectively and honestly. You know if you truly are. You know you put the work in. If you aren't, that's okay. But the first step is admitting it, then making a plan. If you aren't as good as you can be, you haven't committed, you haven't become a full-blown maximizer in being truly amazing at your craft and skills, there's room for improvement. And we can help you with that. There's a little pitch for my system, the Peak Method, all the information on how to get trained in that and become a solutions provider is in the profile. But I'm going to show you how to think critically, how to figure out what problems are wrong with your clients, which tissues to palpate, how to fix them, and actually improve them functionally so you go away from being a service provider to a solutions provider. All that information's in the show notes. Number 2, understanding, and I've been beating this drum for the last 5 years, and people still fight me on this one all the time. Understanding you need to niche out and be a true specialist. I say this all the time. Be the neck specialist in your area. Be the shoulder specialist. Be the knee specialist. Be the plantar fasciitis. Be the carpal tunnel specialist. There's definitely in your area, unless you live in the middle of fucking nowhere, there's going to be a way that you're going to find at least 100 people that want your care and need that special type of treatment. And it really allows you to become a true expert and sharp as a tack in what you do. The problem is everyone's like, well, I need the whole body because, it's all connected. Like, fuck that. I'm tired of that shit. Like, it's all connected. Well, yeah, it is all connected. But if you're like, well, the ankle's not moving right, which in turn causes a compensation there. Yeah, I'm sure that's what happened, but you got to deal with the problem at hand. And if their client is coming in for neck and shoulder problems and you start looking at their foot or their fucking psoas or something like that, there's going to be a disconnect. So be like, I'm the neck person, I'm the shoulder person. I recommend being a neck and shoulder specialist because there's so many people out there that are going to need access to your amazing treatment skills and evaluations. Because here's a finding. I went across this the other day. I don't remember where I saw this, but it said specialists gets paid 10 times more than generalists. And did I say that word right? Generalist. Sometimes I get a little bit of a lisp. In reminding yourself, fuck, the body's a complex thing. And if you're trying to learn everything, I don't know how you do it. I've put all my time and energy probably over the last 4 or 5 years in neck and shoulder. I used to do a lot of low back. I still have that there. But what I coach and train is like start with neck and shoulder because nobody's fixing it. Everybody's got it. And that'll set you apart in the market. And once again, getting your mindset around the idea, if you're truly providing value, you deserve to be paid at the highest level possible. And you're not a bad person for charging more. Like it has nothing to do with that. Like you don't owe people shit. I don't want to get you ranty there. Sorry. Number 3, do you truly give a shit about helping people? In all honesty, do you really give a shit about helping people? You have to start with giving a shit about that person in front of you and helping them. And here's the thing. When you actually help them, you know how you hold them accountable? I say this all the time, and I'm going to make a podcast down the road where I talk about this, as the fact that you're not in the massage business. You're in the accountability business, and nothing holds people more accountable than paying more money. You have a duty and obligation to charge that person more so they take it serious. If you're only charging nickel and dime prices, they're not going to take it serious. But I've talked about this in other podcasts. The clients that paid me well over $100 for a 15-minute treatment were a hell of a lot better clients. They listened and they were more involved in the process than the people that paid $50. It's at the end of the day, things that you pay more for, you value more. The idea too is that your conviction shows if you truly believe in your product and you want to help people, you're going to radiate and bring that energy to other people because you truly believe that you can help. But you have to start by wanting to help that person. If you start by getting into this profession, you're like, oh, I want to make money. No, money will come when you're providing value and you want to help people. But at the end of the day, your basic operating system has to be you give a shit about helping people. Number 4, ego. I've talked about ego. I talked about that a lot on the last podcast. Is what you do truly, I'm saying truly unique and special? Or is it pretty much the same as others? You know, if you haven't listened to that last podcast, go back and listen to it where I just talk about where nobody really cares about your certifications, what you do. You think that you're special, but do you know for sure that you're special? Are you truly that person that is different from that other person down the road? And you can sit there and tell yourself that, but when you actually have a real conversation with yourself and you go, I'm the best, even though you're not the best, that's the ego showing. We're not talking about that. This is getting in there and really understanding that you have to differentiate yourself and set yourself apart. And it starts by becoming that specialist in that area and just getting so damn good that they can't ignore you. And once again, I just bring it up again, understanding that nobody gives a shit about your certifications that you have. Well, except for you. Your results are your certifications. So money is just money. I mean, you look at what's kind of going on right now. I'm recording this, I think, on May 1st, 2020, and we just keep printing money, like, all these stimulus packages, trillions of dollars. Like, so obviously money really doesn't have anything associated with it. It's just a transfer of energy, but you got to change your mind about where you are. And you do have a duty and obligation to take care of yourself first. And if you're struggling financially and you're barely getting by, but you're burning it at both ends and you're like, well, I'm making these sacrifices for my clients, you're fucking stupid. Like, and that might be hard to hear. And I'm sorry for telling you you're fucking stupid, but you're actually being selfish. You have to take care of your needs. You need to charge accordingly. You need to be able to have a life and freedom so that you can show up better for other people. Imagine when you can show up to work and you're like, man, I'm here to earn, I'm here to help, I'm here to make a difference in people's lives. You're going to be able to help a lot more people. If you're worried about like paying your bills or going to your other job, you're not going to be able to be fully present. And that's a thing that people really struggle with. They're not able to be fully present in a moment or a situation, and that shows to the client. And then you wonder why they don't come back. So I think that's all I got for today. I apologize if I got a little ranty, but it's just like this whole idea with money. I had a really bad money mindset for years. I still do sometimes as I go through, but really understanding this idea that price is what you pay, value is what you get. And you have to continue to show more and more value to people. And you do that by becoming an expert, explaining to them what's going on, figuring out their problem, solving their problem, and not just going through the motion. So get in there, become a peak method trained provider, challenge your thinking. And start being an injury solutions provider. Like I said before, people that solve problems always get paid more. And if you set your mind around the idea that you deserve to have financial freedom and success because you truly are saving people's lives, you really are. This is a matter of life and death, because if these people do not get the quality treatment that they need from you, they're going to end up at some bullshit chiropractic office doing a bunch of adjustments that don't work. They're going to do PT that doesn't work. And before you know it, they're going to be on pain pills, they're going to be doing surgeries, and their lives are going to be ruined. So you have a duty and obligation to help this person. And you know what? When you're providing value and you're a true specialist, you're going to get paid like you should so you can have the life that you deserve. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for listening to the podcast. As always, I appreciate you giving me your time. I know it is your most important resource. And when you share that with me each week, it means the world to me. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to the show. If you're a massage therapist and you want to learn more about our new methods that allow you to easily double your income without working any harder or getting burnout, we have some free resources for you. 1, join our Facebook group, The Soft Tissue Revolution. 2, subscribe to our YouTube channel. 3, request our free training series. 4, leave us a 5-star review and share this podcast with anyone else you know it can help. Links to all our channels and free training are in the show notes.